In 2015, Nigerians were done with corruption. They were done with insecurity. They were done with lackadaisical attitude. They were done with the fact that they couldn't feel the presence of government at the grassroots. They were literally just done. At that point in time, they actually lynched and supported somebody that was proposed by the AC and then now the APC. And that is the person of Muhammadu Buhari, whom through his antecedents Nigerians felt he will fight corruption, he would be disciplined, he would not be nepotistic, he wouldn't be tribalistic, he wouldn't care about anybody but to ensure that the polity is sanitized, as corruption had eroded deeply into the foundation that birthed Nigeria. That was basically the fundamental support that Muhammadu Buhari got in 2015. And that was why that overwhelming appreciation was brought in by Nigerians. Muhammadu Buhari promised to resuscitate the economy, provide security, and fight corruption. That was a tripod of his administration. And at that point in time, Nigerians were just tired. They were done with the People's Democratic Party, and they just wanted a situation where the largesse of the country is not pocketed by the few. And they also felt that Jonathan literally was not given the kind of strength and spine that was needed to actually work in the polity. Well, we began to know some certain things played, behind the entire scenario that unfolded. Now Nigerians are aware of a lot of things, but it was that prism, it was that hope that Nigerians wanted. But what happened in the 8 years? This is not to castigate the late Muhammadu Buhari. There is somewhere I'm coming. Where I'm coming from is the fact that Nigerians have been tired of bad leadership for a long time. They've been so tired. They were just managing and coping, hoping that anybody who comes on board will just do the needful, and the person comes and disappoints. Can you imagine that Nigerians are calling for Jonathan to come back? Can you imagine that Nigerians are saying Buhari's government is better than this government? How can you prefer Buhari's government to this government? That means it has gotten worse. How do we know that the next leadership will not be worse than this administration as we are complaining about it? And Nigerians have gotten to the cusp of deciding that anybody, so long as it is not Tinubu, they don't necessarily care about the competence of the person. They don't even want to know whether the person is from the south, the southeast, or from the north. They don't even want to care about the antecedent. Anybody, anyone. Some Nigerians don't just want Tinubu there because he hasn't delivered, or because the APC has not delivered since 2015. And this particular topic and feature was since 2012 from Kayode Fahimi, how Nigerians mistrust and distrust their leaders. Nepotism from the previous administration has eroded into this administration. Bigotry is the order of the day. There is intolerance amongst Nigerians. For a peculiar, complex nation that is meant to work together, our youth are distracted. There are vices they're getting into, and they seem divided. And those who can speak and want the unity of Nigeria, their voices seem to be drowned by those who are calling for separation. Some Nigerians are asking for regionalization. Everybody go to your region. Nigeria cannot be together. We're not working as one, because a couple of people think that at this point in time, their ethnic group is in charge. Or in the previous administration, that is what it was. When politics and governance is looked at from the prism of my brother, my region, my religion, my political party, it will always be a fundamental problem. Why is this conversation coming on board? Atiku Abubakar, the PDP chieftain and presidential hopeful in 2023 under the umbrella of the People's Democratic Party, has officially left the PDP. He has now put his 2 feet in the ADC. Lately, in the political climate, which has been kind of hot and rife, there have been talks about preference. Peter Obi, Atiku Abubakar, who do you think is better? Anybody? We need this coalition to unseat Tinubu. Some people feel that Atiku is not it. They feel he should be an elder statesman. They think he doesn't deserve, or he doesn't worth campaigning again. They also feel that the ADC is a special purpose vehicle to achieve that long-time dream. Others feel that no, Peter Obi has a good prominence, has a clean record, supposedly has a personality and the youthful grace to drive this nation forward. But to change the system, something fundamental needs to be done. Is it going to start in this era? So there's the undecided faction of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and late Muhammadu Buhari agreeing, for the sake of balance, that after 8 years, power should return to the south. And after another 8 years, power comes back to the north. That way is to maintain balance. So a particular region is not always in charge. That was basically the reason why that agreement came on board. But the ADC as a political party right now is saying they want to set a new and a different trajectory. It's not going to be about the south or the north. If you know you have the capacity, put your hat in the race. There'll be a transparent primary. The obedience aren't afraid of that open primary. They feel that Atiku has more support, and it's the northerners that are actually in that particular table there, more prominently there, and that there's a possibility that they will always choose their own. They wouldn't look at capacity, capability, antecedents, or profiling. They will just look at the fact that Atiku is their own. To make it worse, now that Muhammadu Buhari has passed on, they say that Atiku Abubakar is supposedly the voice of the north, the senior leader in the political echelon from the north, and that at this point in time, a lot of the northerners who are undecided may want to go with Atiku Abubakar. So a couple of them are convincing that Peter Obi run as a vice. Others feel that now that Atiku Abubakar has that prominence, he should step aside, put his interests aside, and work along with Peter Obi, support him at the back end, make sure that he utilizes all and sundry, push Peter Obi ahead. Others feel that if Peter Obi knows he's capable and he's a strong politician, why doesn't he go through the normal route that is done, which is to do what? Start forming alliances, working along with people. Deji Adeyonju actually said that. But still, the supporters believe that the system will be flawed, not because of anything else, but just because the system has been flawed in that way. Now, the reason why the coalition came on board is to be a threat to the current political party in charge, that's the APC. They call President Bola Ahmed Tinubu a political strategist, one who cannot be beaten when it comes to Nigerian politics. In other words, the influence, the money, the power, the connection. Now that he's an incumbent, he has everything. So how do the political parties think they can supersede him? So it is better you join the APC and go with the moving train and have what it takes to retain your position in the polity than fighting against it when you know you have a huge chance of losing, being the fact that maybe your hands are not clean. They can bring in the institutions to investigate you. Well, today on the Evening Rush, we want to look at exactly what Nigerians want and what do they prefer.
This is very simple. That this ADC coalition, I think, is a plot to deceive P2B. Why did I say so? This ADC, if they should do that primaries, this ADC is in the north too. And now that body is gone, Atiku is not their next leader. So imagine if they should handle this or do these primaries. Who do you think will come out as the flag bearer? It's Atiku. Because the Northerners, forget this, they say that P2B. Northerners know how to support their own. Northerners, they know how to support their own more than the Southeast. Southeast cannot even defend their own brother. But you see, Northerners, they know how to defend their brother. So this primaries now, Atiku will win. So Atiku has higher chance in ADC. So I think that's why P2B have not fully left Labour Party, because he is wise. He knows what is we are playing. So now the question is, Nigerians, who do we want and what do we want? Is it Atiku or P2B? Because right now we should be talking as a nation, not as a tribe. Because that's the main issue we have in Nigeria, tribalism, my brother, my brother. So now let's come together as one and decide who we want. This is the only chance we have as Nigerians to make it right. Let me get your thoughts and your views in the comment section as we continue the video.
Let's start up with Nigeria's polity. I talked about the fact that from Kayode Fayemi way back in 2012, while Nigeria's leadership is always in contrast with its people, there is this vacuum, there's this huge gap between the people in government and the people. It's only when it's election time that they remember that there are people at the grassroots whom they know without them they cannot get whatever it is they want to get. But when they get there, they forget the people who brought them into power. But now that a lot of situations is unfolding within our political space and the calls for we no longer want this government to continue because the interests of the people as they promised us is not the priority, Nigerians are looking for anything, but they want a different system of governance. So at this point in time, in the quest to get anything, they just want anyone else aside from the current political party. Do you think that desperation is going to lead us to something worse than what we're experiencing now?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if it can be worse.
Okay.
I don't know if it can be worse. Because it's pretty bad right now.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing is we said exactly the same thing under Buhari. Can you believe it? You know that we look back now wistfully at some parts of Buhari's time in government, you know, as president. You know, but I remember vividly at that time, even those of us that voted for him in his first term and who said, no, this guy has failed, he doesn't deserve a second term, and didn't vote for him and all of that. And then the second term happened and it was even worse than the first term. We're looking back now and we're saying, well, you know, with the benefit of hindsight and given what we're going through now, maybe that time wasn't so bad. And that has always been the story of Nigeria, you know. So can it be worse than what we're experiencing now? I don't know. I think it probably can. Things can always get worse. But because of the governance style of the incumbent right now, they're really bad. You know, things are worse than they ought to be and that they need to be.
Okay.
They don't need to be this bad. So having said that, if we now out of desperation because we think that the price of, you know, bag of rice is 82,000 naira, you know, gari is anything between 30 to 40,000 naira, and so on and so forth, we now say, oh, this is terrible, we want somebody new. Anybody else? Then I'll quickly remind people that think that way to cast their minds back to 2014, 2015, when a large, overwhelming number of Nigerians said no, anything but Jonathan. And then 8 years later, we're saying Buhari was the worst president. In fact, people want Jonathan back now. You know, are we not going to learn? Shouldn't we? How can we keep doing the same thing? You know, it's amusing as I listen to all of these conversations. I find it's like a tragic comedy because on the one hand, it's funny, but on the other hand, these are real lives. When we started this journey, you know, when Yaradua died and people fought to get Jonathan installed. Esther, do you know that was 15 years ago? A child that was born in 2010 is about to leave secondary school, right? So our lives are slipping right by in our, you know, before our eyes, and we're repeating the same mistakes. When are we going to learn? When are we going to understand that doing the same things and expecting different results is absolute lunacy? You know, we're crazy. With all due respect to all of us, right? We cannot continue like this. We have to understand that the solution to a problem cannot lie in the people that caused the problem. It's almost impossible. You know, so if we say to ourselves, anybody else, okay, good luck to us. I mean, on election day, everybody's going to cast their vote. I'll cast mine. You know, I may decide not to, whatever happens. But at the end of the day, whatever happens will happen. And we're all we'll be here.
Mr. Shogo, the reason why I ask this question is now the ADC is the searchlight, the beam, you know, is on them. Initially, Nigerians felt hopeless because the APC seemed to be the party that was ongoing, unchallenged. We saw people leaving the PDP in droves, joining the APC. The Labour Party has been destructured. Most of the House of Rep members that were unknown, that the Labour Party gave platform because Nigerians wanted that change, they all joined the APC. And the party supporters were confident, and the president came on Democracy Day, June 12, by saying, I am not apologetic to see you guys in disarray, but I'm not happy that you guys think it's a one-party system. I'm not going to help you resolve the imbroglio for you to stand as an opposition. I did during my time when, you know, the PDP wasn't power. I remained forthright. I remained as a strong voice. So I cannot be the one to come resolve the issues in your house. So I am sorry. I'm not sorry that I'm witnessing you being in disarray. Then the ADC came up. It's not a new political party, but certain persons who joined that political party became the focal point, and that party started trending almost 2 weeks now, non-stop. Anywhere, it's like there is a monitor on any of the individuals wherever it is they go. So here is the thing. What a lot of Nigerians did not see was the passing on of Muhammadu Buhari. It seemed to be the factor that held the CPC faction of the APC together. We have seen some APC members join the ADC. For example, right now, since Atiku has left, he's now full on into the ADC. Some northern states have joined. In fact, in Anambra State, I think, yes, a frontline senatorial aspirant for Anambra South District, Sir Barrister Donald Chidi Amambo, has formally announced his resignation from the Labour Party, citing deep-seated internal crisis and a lack of credible leadership within the party's ranks, and he has actually joined the ADC along with his supporters. We're seeing the ADC trying to establish grassroots basis and recognition, all right, in the different wards and polling unit. But the Obedience are saying Peter Obi or nothing. And the Atikus are saying, why are you guys saying that? The Obedience are saying Atiku should be an elder statesman to support Peter Obi. The articulated are saying no. Atiku has every right to run like any individual. Yes, he has tried on several occasions. It just happened to be bad timing. What stops him from going this time around? The Obedience say it's the time of the South. And the articulated are saying, in which constitution is that? Where is it written that it has to be like that? That the ADC is creating a different pattern and a different platform. And everyone who is interested, they will implore you, if you're interested, join the party, register yourself that you want the aspiration to become a president, a governor, a House of Assembly member, a senator, or whatever it is you want. Register into the party and do what you need to do to lobby people to your side. But there is a fear that Peter Obi would not win if things are done the way it's supposed to be done because of the number of persons there. And they said, how is the process of the primary conducted? I need you to educate us in that.
Okay. Depending on whatever constitution they adopt in the ADC, right, they can either go for the direct primaries,
okay,
or the indirect primaries. You know, one would have delegates, one would have just members voting by themselves, you know, directly. If they are going to go with the delegate-based primaries,
okay,
then you don't need to be a soothsayer to know what will happen. The same people that are in the ADC, 90% of them, maybe 95, were either in the PDP or in the APC during the last primaries that were run in 2022. And we all saw what happened. We called it the dollar rain that time. Amounts ranging from $5,000 to $10,000 to $50,000 was reputed to have been shared, you know, by the major candidates to the different delegates. And we saw video evidence. So I would imagine that if the ADC decides to go through a primary process, it's very likely that they will run the delegate-based primary and we'll see a dollar rain again because it's the same people, right? Why would they do things differently? If that happens, there is no pathway for Peter Obi to emerge as the candidate because I know Peter Obi will not share dollars.
But
You say we know they give shishi.
But if right now the way the politics is the way the politics is, for him to have joined that coalition, he already knew what all this entails. There is no how you can tell me that that man doesn't have a mind of his own. That's the reason why I'm wondering, because if they say this coalition talk has been on for 18 months, and he was through part of the process, so all the pros and the cons he had considered it. Are you sure he didn't know about this angle of the politicking for him to have agreed to be part of it?
He knew, but Peter Obi's ideology, you know, and his approach to life, to everything, his philosophy as a human being is that there is a right way to do things and he's going to do it that way no matter what. And he believes that as long as his motive is pure, that he will find his way through. And it has worked for him during his time as governor.
But that time is
it's not going to work now. But this is what he believes. I'm telling you, anybody can quote me. I'm speaking authoritatively. So he believes that he can go anywhere with the ground swell of support of Nigerians behind him. The delegates will have no choice if they intend to win the elections than to support him. That will be his own approach. And it will fail. It will fail because the delegates don't send you and I. They don't care about what Nigerians want. They care about what the amount of dollars that they will get during that process. People are going to build houses. People are going to buy cars. People are going to marry wives. As a result, it's true. As a result of this delegate, this primary system that is coming up, so throw the idea of Nigerians are behind one person and this person is the only one that can win. You throw it into the lagoon. The delegates don't care. So, and that's what forms my own approach to this matter with regards to what I think the individual candidates should do if they intend to be on the ballot in 2027. Peter Obi, if he wants to be on the ballot in 2027, he won't get on the ballot in 2027 via the ADC. Atiku is going to be the man. So
You see the ADC as an Atiku party?
No, it's not that. It's because the kind of politics that Atiku will play is the kind of politics that ADC will play.
Are you
They
sure
will
that
align.
how you may have? I mean, a lot has been learned from 2023. And like I said, for Peter Obi to have joined this coalition, he knew what the challenges would be. Are you sure you're not underestimating his ability to persuade?
Peter Obi.
Yes. To persuade
Persuade who? Delegates.
the delegates.
It's only dollars
Not
that
with
persuade
money.
them. It's
Not
only
with
dollars.
money, maybe with positions.
You see, I'm not just saying money. I said dollars. It's not a matter of persuasion with money. Because, we have a money laundering act
Yeah.
that limits the amount of cash that you can spend as an individual, as a company. That's why they moved to dollars. So what's going to happen? What persuasion are you talking about? What do you want to say to them? These things don't matter. These guys were delegates in 2023, and they know what happened to their lives. What do you want to say to them that they don't already know? You think they don't know that Peter Obi, really, if we're being honest with ourselves, is better than any candidate that you can want to present? They understand this thing. They saw his track record. They saw his ideology. They saw what he stands for in Anambra State. It happened in broad daylight.
Right.
All Nigerians saw it, right? They know, but they're not interested in that. And until the people that are driving the Peter Obi campaign and pushing him and including his supporters understand that, in my opinion, this is my opinion and my calculation, but you see, I'm coming from a place of some sort of inside knowledge. And I'm saying that there is no pathway. There is no pathway to the presidency for Mr. Peter Obi via the ADC. There's no pathway.
So if he had thought about this, why was he part of it then?
The only thing that I think might happen, with Peter Obi, another thing about him, he says he's not desperate.
Yes.
He's not desperate to be president.
He says so.
He's desperate to change Nigeria. So as a result of that mindset, he might very well accept to be vice
Or
to
not
Atiku.
vice, just support him.
He might very well accept to be vice.
But he has
Based
said no
on,
twice.
yes,
on two
yes,
occasions.
he's a politician. So leave that one. He's still a politician, isn't he? So you can say whatever you want to say. If your constituency says something else, you will have to follow them. So the other thing that I think he might do is to accept to be vice to Atiku under an agreement of one single term for Atiku. And then him becoming the president after that and doing 2 terms.
But he said in 2031 he'll be done with politics.
Nobody is God.
But these are the things that bring out against
Excuse me.
him when he talks like this.
Did we
They
know
use it
that?
to counter some things that
I
he
understand,
says.
but it's politics. Did we know that President Muhammadu Buhari will be dead today? Nobody is God. So, when politicians, whatever anybody, not even just politicians, people say things out of conviction, but convictions can change. There are some things that you should never change, with regards to what you believe in, what you stand for. But talking about the things you will do and you will not do 5 years from today, 8 years from today, are you serious? So that's why I try now with the benefit of hindsight, not to say never about anything. And I don't think Peter Obi should have been saying, I will never do this, I will never do that.
After 2031.
It doesn't
Maybe
matter.
he wanted to prove and, let's say, buttress that indeed he's not desperate to be in
Maybe.
it. Okay, but let's look at the situation. The reason why he's always a topic of conversation wherever it is that you go is the fact that they feel that he's different from the lot. He has empathy. He understands the feeling of the people. He exudes humility.
Very simple.
Very simple. Something that is difficult to see in Nigeria. Unless maybe if these individuals are in their private homes or you get to really know them personally. But whether it's personal or outside, he is just like that. So, for example, he spoke about what Muhammadu Buhari told him when he was campaigning. He said the former military leader advised him to care for people experiencing poverty. He says, I had the opportunity of meeting him while I was campaigning, and I remember his words till today. Please care for the poor Nigerians. That's what I always remember, and I believe that he did his best within his capacity. That's what Peter Obi said. Obi said the encounter with the late president left a lasting impression on him, especially Buhari's sincerity in appealing for better welfare for vulnerable Nigerians. A lot of Nigerians will not agree with this statement because of what they experienced under Buhari's tenure. Now, here is the thing. They said somebody who was there in Katsina when Buhari, Atiku, El Rufai, Peter Obi, and they were all there together today. He explained the reason why he did not go on Tuesday. He said there were no flights to Katsina. He also mentioned the fact that because there were no flights, he couldn't get there. Plus a couple of issues that came up. And it's even understandable because the president was there. A couple of the top dignitaries were there, and then some people were calling him out that he couldn't even go. But we know that at some point he was going to go. For him, he would prefer to meet the family, possibly separate outside that entire whatever. Now, in this explanation, after the 2023 elections, we saw Peter Obi really doing his philanthropic activities, going around, traveling, donating and whatnot. And a couple of Nigerians said that for Atiku, he went back to Dubai, comes back again when he's close to the election, that he's always doing that. You just feel you can buy the support of people with money. But the grassroots that you're supposed to, the physical efforts, the ability to be present, you don't do that. Also, they felt like after what transpired in 2023, the PDP went into its crisis. And as the senior person there who was a presidential candidate, he did nothing to resolve the issue. So these are the issues that they have about him in terms of trust. But as it stands now within the ADC and the kind of persons there, will they be able to deliver empathy to Nigerians, trust, transparency, and a situation where they understand that Nigerians will be the priority and not their personal pocket, with the persons there and the people who are thronging into that place?
I mean, their track record speaks for them now. For me, it's simple. It's too easy. There's a track record. So I can just reel out the names. Is it Tambuwal you want to talk about? Is it Aregbesola? Is it Amechi? Is it El Rufai? Who else? Is it David Mark? Which one of these guys have related with Nigerians? I didn't bother to talk about Atiku because he has never been a driver in governance. He became governor, but he didn't stay in office because he became vice president. And then since then he's been running. He's never really held a position where you say this is public office, where he's directly in charge, right? So that's why I didn't talk about him. Atiku tries, he makes statements, being a politician, being a good politician, he makes statements that are empathetic when there are events that warrant that. But which one of the majority of these characters has displayed empathy in their public life? Amechi has been in the public eye since 1999. All 26 years of this republic, he's been there in office. At what point did he display empathy? This guy speaks with brash arrogance. Himself and Wike, he's just a simple, slightly more polished version of Wike, in terms of that gruffness and that aggressiveness and all that. Which one of them speaks with empathy? Which one of them shows that in their daily, ordinary life, that they are connecting with ordinary Nigerians and impacting their lives? There will be a few of them, but none of the leading lights of this alliance, right? Except for Peter Obi. So I think that the equation is clear. It's up to Nigerians to be brave and bold enough to demand what they want. I'm not very optimistic. I don't see it happening.
With the ADC as a party and the fact that they don't flout him.
Yeah. So I think that Nigerians are going to go with their emotions as human beings tend to do when it comes to politics.
Coming to that.
Yeah.
They have advised that we shouldn't attach emotions to this because these individuals don't attach emotions. Like
They
you
don't.
said, it is about them. It is
Absolutely.
it is practical. It is logical. No
Yeah,
sentiments. It
at-
is what
at
it
all.
is. Tinubu will tell you it is what it is. When he says grab it, snatch it, run away with
That's what it is.
he wasn't being empathical,
No, he
right?
was.
He was like, that's what politics is all about.
Yeah.
Now, those delegates you talked about, the obedience who are saying Peter Obi or nothing, how do you think they can also have a say if they haven't registered? Because a lot of them are a lot of those, especially those who follow politics and understand politics, who have said that it is not about emotion and sentiment, say that the obedience need to learn strategy. That it's not about saying Peter Obi or nothing. What are the groundwork that they're laying? How many of them have registered in the ADC? How many of them are the grassroots, are the wards, mobilizing for their own person to have a voice? Because once you're able to do that, if an obedient is the one that is a chairman or the head of one of the wards, you're also part of the inner caucus that can make decisions to sway. So if the articulated and the Atiku is doing his, what is Peter Obi's people doing beyond shouting Peter Obi or nothing?
You know, and the interesting thing about the ADC, this is very critical. Unlike the APC that emerged from ACN, CPC, APP, some factions of ABGA and all of that, those conversations and those negotiations happen between parties or factions of parties. The ADC is a creation not of parties but of politicians. The Labour Party is not a part of this discussion at all.
Are you sure?
Absolutely. Who in the Labour Party is there?
Dinanadu,
The Labour
Usman,
Party.
they're supporting
It's
Peter Obi.
splintered. The Labour Party, as we speak today, is decimated. They don't exist. The PDP is not the official. They're not officially a
It's a
member of
faction.
this coalition.
Some
In fact, there is
factions.
no faction. It's members of the PDP that are coming out of the PDP and joining. The APC also has members joining, but not the party, not a faction. Now, what this means is that these people are coming with their personal machinery, not the party structure, right? So if you talk about obedience coming into the ADC to come, how do they want to influence anything? Because the ADC is a fresh party of influential power brokers. What machinery? When the obedience get there, are they going to become delegates for the primaries? They can't. They will never smell it.
Are you serious?
They can't become delegates because the politicians that have thronged in from the different places are coming with their delegates. That's why they're there. That's the power they wield. So unless the ADC decides to do direct primaries, and it's extremely unlikely. Again, the ADC is an amalgamation of different forces. The people are going to have to join by themselves. How do you get your party register?
Yes.
Register of members to say
They're
you want to do
asking them
direct
to
primaries.
register. They're
How do you
asking
want to
their
do
people
it?
to register.
So for me, anybody that is talking about moving into the ADC, put your action where your mouth is, they don't understand what's happening. In my opinion, if you say you are an obedient right now, think strategy. The conversation now should be whether the ADC is the place to go or whether you want to align with the ADA, which will get its registration.
But may take time.
But it will happen.
So you prefer the ADA?
Or, no, I have no preference. I'm just raising these things.
No, in terms of in terms of the fundamental.
Yeah,
the
of course.
fundamental of the clean slate.
Because if you go with the ADA, it's a clean slate, right? Or another option, go with one of the smaller fringe parties that you are sure is not a proxy for the APC or the PDP. Because majority of the 17 other parties out of the 19 are arms and legs of the APC or the PDP. The people that set them up were set up by the people in the main parties. So you have to find one or two that are clean, that you can all move into. When I say all, the obedience, the disgruntled APC, I'm talking of Nigerians, everybody. So we now come together on that clean place without all these old men. You see those old men, including Atiku, those old men, they have finished us. They are the ones that got us here. How can they solve the problem? They don't even know how. You see, Esther, they don't know how. They don't understand the impact of their actions on the ordinary Nigerian, because they are not ordinary Nigerians. They are.
Let's cut it there. But the summary of what I'm saying is that between Atiku and P2B, that we ourselves. Everybody in Nigeria knows the truth. But what is hindering the truth from coming out is this issue of tribalism. That P2B is my brother, P2B is not my brother, that Atiku is my brother. That is just the thing. Atiku and the rest were among those that brought us to this level. That means they don't know what it takes to solve the level where we are in now. So why are they running as a presidential candidate when you know fully well that we cannot fix Nigeria? Like they said, that is because Atiku does not understand what a normal Nigeria is feeling, because them too they are not among the normal Nigerians. How can somebody travel out and stay in Dubai for how many years? Close election, you are back. But P2B have been in this state, in this country, traveling from here to here, knowing the feelings, knowing what people are passing through, helping out, donating here and there, becoming or being a philanthropist here and there, because he have gone to state, he knows what people are going through, and he knows what to do to implement and see that this country moves forward. But the same Northerners that are coming out, that are suffering the more, will still come out and give the primaries to Atiku. That's just how this is going to be, and I think that's why P2B is still in Labour Party. And P2B might not even contest in any of the party itself, because the spokesperson for the Obede movement said that where P2B will run is unknown. So he might not even run in ADC or Labour Party, he might run in a new party. But this issue that Nigerians are not yet awake, we are not yet able to learn from our mistakes. We made this mistake 2023. We are still about to repeat the mistake again come 2027. We know within ourselves sincerely that P2B is the best candidate that can stand a chance to fix Nigeria. We all know that this Atiku, El-Rufai, all of them, we are among the reasons why Nigeria are in this mess we're in right now. That means they have no plan. They don't understand what an average Nigeria is passing through. But P2B have been with all the average Nigerians, both the poor, the rich. He understands that these people are suffering. He understands that children are not going to school, that schools in Nigeria are not working, that there's not enough facilities, nothing is working in Nigeria. He understands this pain, and then tell me why he should not be the one running for the candidate of the president and let Atiku, El-Rufai, and everybody support him if clearly they want to see Nigeria work. Because the main reason why they want to coalesce is so that everybody will agree that this is what we need to do to fix Nigeria and to remove power from APC. So why that Atiku now running when he knows that he does not have what it takes to fix Nigeria? This is just what they call selfish interest, because he just wants to become a president of Nigeria, where you know that you don't have all it takes. That's what happened to Tinubu. He knew that he does not have what it takes to fix Nigeria, but because it is turn, like he said, he wants to become our president. So he went ahead to run, and then they did what they did, INEC and everything. But the issue is that now Tinubu has the world power in Nigeria. Tinubu has all the power in Nigeria, because INEC are under him, judiciary are under him, police are under him, military men are under him, the Supreme Court is under him, the name it, so they're under him. So it's going to be a very hard game to unseat Tinubu come 2027. So imagine Atiku now coming out now to divide this issue. So him and P2B now coming together to become a different person or a different candidate will actually make Tinubu to run for 8 good years. And people have said it publicly that if Atiku eventually becomes a flag bearer, it's better Tinubu route for 8 good years. But let me get your views and thoughts in the comment section of the guys in my next video.